So let's do a little bit more playing with this Pico display on the Raspberry Pi Pico. So here is the demo code. Remember, I changed the pen here so that it's only outputted different shades of blue, and I'd also altered the colour of the screen by changing this. So I'm just going to change this so that the screen is black anyway to begin with, because that's always pleasant for me anyway. So somebody asked about text and how do I put text on there. So what I'm going to do is just slightly hack this code here to try and put some text on. So what it didn't show in the demo is that you could use the command text. So let's try that again. So this is the main loop here, while true, and this is just the ball. We're not going to mess about with the ball. I'm going to leave the balls as they are, but this is the bit that actually displays the ball, displays the circle. Well, let's just paste this in. Okay, so it should display the text babu. Then you have a point, which I'm going to say is that. Then there is a wrap, not sure what that is, and then there's a scale. So let's run that as it stands. And over just at the top of the screen there, you can see the word babu has appeared. So that's good. And it's writing that these balls are slowed down a little bit, because I think, as far as I can work it out, it's writing that babu each time. So let's change it for a little bit. Let's up the scale to 50. And so that should be obvious what that does. No, it's not done it right. So I've updated the scale to 15, and now that appears to have done absolutely nothing. Let's just add an extra one on there now. Okay, that's better. Right, so we're scaling that now. So that scale of 50 is absolutely huge on this screen. So maybe let's just do a scale of 10 instead. Whoops. 10 instead, and try that. Okay, so a much bigger font. This is changing colour every time. We're not actually setting the colour within the text output. We're setting it within the set pen here, which is being random. So I think what would be fun now, we've got these points, so let's set the points of this text. In fact, let's make the text smaller, make the text to about scaled up to 5 times the standard font. Okay, a bit smaller now, and I'm going to take this int x and int y is the position of one of these balls on the screen. So let's copy that and put it into this point variable. So what that should do is start to create ones at different positions on the screen. Okay, there you go. So they're all going along the top and down of the screen because they all started at the same position. So this second point is going to be the Y. Now I could change the Y myself. I'm just using the ball itself. This the ball object on this has got its own X and Y. So all I'm doing is copying that instead. So let's copy that to there, and then we should start seeing them walking all over the screen. If I've done it right. What did I do wrong? Completely. What on earth did I do wrong there? All right, let's try again. Int ball Y, grab that bit, copy that, put it back to there. Okay, and I want that to be Y. Right, so let's try that again. All right, so now I have babus all over the screen, and to be honest now I'm going to get rid of the drawing the ball on the screen. So to comment stuff out in this MicroPython, I have to put a hash. So I just have to work out on whatever mode my keyboard's in what hash is at the moment. There we go, hash. All right, and run that again. So now I've got babus all over the screen, and I'm just going to move them a little bit less. Let's make them 3. All right. Okay, so a multitude of text all over the screen now, and it's not just blue. So that's good. In fact, when I say it's not just blue, I'm going to make it blue. So back up here, which creates the random pen, the random color for each object, I'm just going to set the 2 to 0s. And now I should have blues all over the screen. Let's try that. Different blues. There you go. So blue balls over the screen. Now we've got blue baboos all over the screen. Right, let's play about with this RGB LED now. So I'm going to look somewhere to do this in the loop. And obviously there's so many balls. Let's say there's 50 balls. I don't know how many balls are there. I can't see where it says how many there are. 100, right? Okay, so there's 100 there. So it's updating in this loop. It's updating it 100 times per loop. So I want to go out of the loop. I think I'm just going to put it here, where it just pauses briefly after it updates the screen. So again, display I'm going to use. Remember, this is the PicoDisplay library, and I think what I need for this is something called set underscore LED. All right, and again it's RGB, so let's go for blue first. 0, 0, 255 will be too bright, maximum brightness. So that should, whoops, set that there. So let's introduce red into that as well. So it should give a purpley. I don't think it's going to give a wonderful purple version on this, but let's add 255 there and run that. Okay, so you can actually see very clearly. I don't know whether it is on the screen. In fact, it's a little bit too bright on the screen, isn't it? So let's knock that down to about 100 for each of those. All right, and try that. That's not as bright now. I don't know whether you can make out it. In real life, I can actually see the main colour of this, the colour of each of the pixels on that little LED. But easy enough to change that. And of course, let's introduce a random into that as well. So stealing the code already, we've got for this, when we create the colour of each individual object, we've got this random 0 to 255. So if I copy that and paste it into one of these, and I only want a random between 1 and 100, so it doesn't get too bright for the camera. So this should be varying degrees of purple. All right, and you can just about see the speed, sort of the tick of each screen update now. Every time that changes, that's when the whole screen has been written. So it's going quite, considering there's 100 objects on there, it's going quite quickly, isn't it? Not incredibly quickly, but you can actually see the flashing pattern. So let's just experiment a little bit more, and let's try this multicolour. So a random for each of them, well, apart from the blue. Let's see how that changes the colour. That should introduce green to the mix as well. All right, of course, if I then set random for this, it's random for everything. And try again. All right, so that's the main features of this. I'm not going to introduce checking for the buttons into the loop at the moment. That'll just be a little bit more complicated. But I'll show you where I found the information for this. If we go to this GitHub again, where the code is, if you go back to the start, so go back to the Pimoroni front page. I then went into libraries, and then I went into PicoDisplay. And then as I was looking at this code here, I found that it said about the Pico graphics. So it uses our Pico graphics library, went into the function reference to the Pico graphic library, and down here at the bottom we have something about text. So that's where I found the information about the text. So it's not the easiest thing to navigate around GitHub, especially if you haven't done it previously. It's the sort of thing you get used to and quickly, and of course everybody might set these things up differently. But anyway, there's some blue text going around the screen. We can get text onto the screen now, and we've worked out how to access this RGB light as well. So we're just getting to the point now where we can begin to do some different things on this display just by playing with the demo code. Don't forget to subscribe. Somebody was mocking my blue balls.